Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. On April 29th, 2025, which is today, a document was released. It is a court order signed by Judge Hippler on the 28th of April, and this directly relates to our last episode of the Indie Zone podcast entitled Idaho versus Kohberger, where we are looking at documents on the court docket. The prior episode discussed and described state's motion seeking a court order for examination of defendant pursuant to Idaho Code 18207 and for an extension of time to complete rebuttal penalty phase expert disclosures and declarations and exhibits in support. Now we see that the order has dropped on the 29th. It states, based upon the state's motion to seal, state's motion for examination of defendant pursuant to Idaho Code Section 18-207 and for an extension of time to complete rebuttal penalty phase expert disclosures and declarations and exhibits in support filed herein are exempt from disclosure and is sealed pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rule 32G1 and Idaho Code 74-124C for the reasons stated in said motion, and until a hearing can be held on the matter. This is so ordered, handwritten, April 28th, 2025, signed Stephen J. Hippler, District Judge. A few observations here, ladies and gentlemen, if I could. First, in the motion itself, filed by the state, there was a notation, page 2, that the defense had an objection to part of the relief that the state was seeking regarding this examination of Mr. Kohberger. This order does not grant any examination of Mr. Kohberger. What it does is it seals the motion itself, the motion for the examination. Number 2, this order does not state how much time, this enlargement of time to complete rebuttal penalty phase expert disclosures have been given, have been afforded. This was, again, a deadline set forth in Judge Hippler's October 9th, 2024 pretrial order to see that schedule of when expert witness disclosures, both during the case in chief and the penalty phase, if any, go to the October 9th order, go to the bottom of page 2, going on to page 3, and you can see the information and the deadlines that the court ordered therein. This document does not say that this extension of time is granted, so I'm wondering possibly the state may be coming back and asking for, in an abundance of caution, an extension of time to respond to those rebuttal penalty phase expert disclosures that the state was court ordered to submit by a date certain set forth in that October 9th order. And finally, you'll see here, until a hearing can be held on the matter, this may be regarding the examination itself of Mr. Kohberger, because the motion to seal has been granted. The documents are now sealed. So we'll wait to see if there is a hearing notice regarding this particular motion for examination of defendant. If and when it does appear on the docket, we will, of course, update you. This will now conclude this episode of the Indie Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. Thanks for joining us here today.